Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flies, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
I'ma say this right here, baby, because some of y'all be acting like y'all don't be seeing it. But, baby, playing victim in a situation that you created, oh, yeah, baby, that's narcissistic as hell to me. Hello, somebody, how you gonna create the storm, then get mad when it rain? How you hurt somebody and then get mad that they hurt? How you damage somebody, go outside your way to destroy a person and then get mad when they no longer want to deal with you? Baby, playing a victim in a situation that you created, oh, baby, that's narcissistic as hell to me. I'm sorry, but it is.
Successful people aren't successful because everything went their way. They're successful because they figured out a way to navigate through the shit, right? Life is not all easy. You're gonna have shitty things happen to you. And I'm not speaking this over you, I just know from life experience, right? People are gonna get sick, people are gonna die, people are gonna get divorced, people are gonna be financially in ruin. Stressful things are gonna happen. If you don't know how to navigate those things, if you can't figure out how to navigate those things and get to your outcomes anyway, life is gonna be really fucking tough. And it gets bad because then you get into your late 30s and early 40s and we're talking and you become the woulda, shoulda, coulda guy.
Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
morning, my beautiful people of YouTube. I hope you guys are doing amazing this Wednesday. Happy hump day, guys. But while you're sliding into your wonderful weekend, at least we hope it is. My weekend was pretty rainy outside, to say the least. So hopefully this weekend will be a little bit better. We'll see. We'll see. Lots of exciting stuff going on for me this week. So I'm just really excited about the ending of this week, really. The ending of this week and the beginning of next week. And I've got some stuff coming to you guys really, really soon. Angel, good morning. ZA, as always, good morning, love bug, and our birthday girl. Because, you just can't have one day. I used to start with one day, then I took a week, then my week took 2 weeks, and the next thing you know, I'm having a birthday for a whole entire month, right? So Mac J, Lord have mercy, my eyes. Nice to see you, and you're always welcome. Let's see here. Oh, lady, good morning. Gigi for life. I smell like a rose. You kind of smell like coffee if you're in my house. I'm just saying. I don't know. I don't smell these roses you keep talking about, but I do smell a whole bunch of coffee. As you know, I am bringing the Guzzler out. Big Bee Betty fan mug. Big mug. It takes up my entire face. So we are rocking out the big mug today. Alabama mom of 4. Always nice to see you. Southern Grammy Wolf, Rhonda, Cool Gamer, Sonia, it's nice to have you. Good morning, Hindsight 2020. Jodi, it's nice to see you as well. Kathy, good morning. Patricia, Mike here representing Rex Heuermann's innocence today, saying he had nothing to do with any of this. Right, Mike? Nothing to do with any of it. Our resident defense attorney, Mike Stevens, in the house. Always a blessing to have you here. TLC. What is it? Karen. Just here for the particulars. Terrible. Oh, Lord. I get tongue-tied with your name. But it's nice to see you. Nice to have you for the particulars, of course. And who else do we have up in the house? Let's see here. I think we got to just about everybody. I'm scrolling down to see if we have any late people coming in. I don't know why I do that with my voice. Nice to have that super sticker. Southern Grammy Wolf, I got to go over and she says, hiya. I had to go over and check it out. Thank you. God bless you. Grand Mammy Annie. Oh, I like that. That is cute. That is super, super cute. And Julie, always happy to see you as well. Nice to see you all this wonderful Wednesday morning. Everything has been going great. Kind of got off to a little rocky start yesterday with Rex Heuermann's press conference. We did end up watching the press conference. Not a whole lot of information that came out of the press conference that I would say, was jaw-dropping or anything of that nature. But we did have, if I can find it here, we were going over the bail application. And there's a lot of information in here that, we were not really aware of, or maybe some of us were aware of it prior to this. But I thought it was really interesting when it came to Rex Heuermann's case, when they put the team together. Right. They brought the team together. I think if I remember reading it correctly, January 2022. And I think by March, they started identifying Rex Heuermann as the potential person in this. Yes. So January 2022, they, put this team of investigators, which included local, state, and federal partners, to kind of come together in this task force to kind of lay everything out on the table. Good morning, Sheila. Nice to see you. SB as well. Nice to see you. And I'm going to try to go back. I'm trying to get better at reading the comments so you guys don't, talk. And I'm so busy reading that I don't look up. But sometimes it's kind of hard to stop because once you stop, people get distracted, whatever. So it appears that January 2022, this task force was formulated, and by March, they started, Rex Heuermann's name started surfacing. And this was from an eyewitness for one of the women that kind of had this con. So how the scam kind of works is they elicit, their Johns online. So they're saying, come over here, I'll do this. They had different emojis for different things. So you have to be in this lifestyle and dealing with this to understand what the lingo is, because he was searching for these people on Craigslist. And as you know, many, especially during this era, law enforcement was monitoring Craigslist. So it's not like, hey, I'm happy to go take you out on a date or whatever. Maybe that was it, because the way around, they get around the whole act of, prostitution is the payment. So if you're paying for a date, a lawful escort date, nothing is, she's just coming, she's just being your arm candy for an evening. It doesn't mean that you're going to be doing something with her. So it's not implied according to the law. So that's how they get around it, because you can pay $200 to rent her for the night. There's no guarantee that anything's going to go past the dinner and the arm candy portion. And anything over and above that is between two consenting adults. And that's how they kind of get around this. But some people were more blatant and use this rose and stuff where they say, it's going to be 40 roses, 20 roses, a dozen roses. And this is how they discuss payment online. And they used all these different kind of innuendos when they were online communicating with this stuff. This is not in here, but this is just from some research that I was doing on how they were able to, market themselves, right? Market themselves online. So they use different terminology, different emojis to identify different performances and identify how much money it was. But anyways, this con was, this lady set up this profile, she was bringing in John, and she would have them, obviously the payment needed to be made up front. So she took the money, and then all of a sudden the angry boyfriend comes in, right? The angry boyfriend comes in wanting to know what's going on. What are you doing? Blah, 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 blah. The unsuspecting John, he's already paid the money, and he's like, okay, well, I'm not dealing with this drama. I'll see you. I'll see you. So he wrote her back and had this eerie text like, that wasn't nice. You're going to have to owe me for the next time. And so we called her like a day later, or maybe 2 days later. I can't remember exactly which one it was. We were reading it yesterday, but it was like a day later, and she agreed to meet with him again. And she never was heard from or seen ever again. And then until she was found deceased. And this is the lead that broke this case open, because an eyewitness for that kind of scam identified the first generation Chevy Avalanche. And so that first generation Chevy Avalanche was kind of like the cherry on top. Now they had Rex working in Manhattan, where they believe some of these phone calls were coming from, where some of the people were communicated with to pick up, to go on a date. And they were also very close to Massapequa. It was a lot of information that the person made calls. The phones were traveling between Manhattan and Massapequa. So there was a lot of identifying factors that kind of pointed in the direction of Rex. But we have to also look, how many other people from Massapequa commuted over to Manhattan into New York City? Probably a few. So I don't think that was identifying to them, but it was the car, it was the vehicle, it was that Chevy Avalanche, that first generation Chevy Avalanche, which was apparently the nugget that identified Rex. Because now with the data mining, They were able to locate that he works in this area. This is an important area. Even one cell phone ping literally coming out from the outside doors of his office, only 800 and some odd, just less than 900 feet away from his actual office door. One of these pings were hit. So they had this data mining. I will pay someone 20 Big Macs for a date. Leave it to Mike. Oh my gosh. You know what? This is why you make this channel funny. You do. I have to be honest. That is cute. That is cute. So if you guys know how to punish, now we can always use this as a way to flip it around. Like, right? We always do the spin, right? So how do we upset Mike? If we really want to be mean, we take Mike's Big Macs. That's how we do it. We put Mike on a diet, and we know when Mike's on a diet. He's cranky pants. No pun intended, cranky pants. No pun intended. Lori Lowe, it's nice to see you. Struggle is real. It's nice to see you as well. So all these things were important factors. Then you got this truck turn. That was it. Now they've got all of these things hitting and everything looking at Rex. So now they start scoping Rex. They start, probably tailing him. They probably have somebody behind him, watching him, monitoring him. There were some things that made them decide to move forward with his arrest when they did. And I think what it is that he was getting ready to target somebody else. I think he was starting to use his phones. I don't think he ever stopped killing. I really don't. I don't think this man ever stopped. And that's what's so terrifying, because all the stuff that we're looking at right now, even these new cases that I'm about to present to all of you about the new people that are most likely his victims, but he hasn't been linked to them yet. It's between him and another person, and the other person is deceased, and we're going to go over that as well. So that's kind of the intro into our studies today. Our commentary, what we're going to be discussing. That's kind of where everything is going to be. We're going to be directing kind of over to this Las Vegas area, but we're going to give you guys some background. So if you guys are here, Doodle Mom, it's nice to have you. There have to be so many more victims. You are not lying. And that's the most terrifying. And not only that, but a lot of people, I have to be honest with you, before we get over to the language and letting go, I'm just going to break this down for you. There are a lot of people, whether people like me or hate me, the bottom line is people do watch me, whether they're subscribers or not. I've got analytics to show how many of the same subscribers or same unsubscribed people come back here. There's certain analytics behind the scenes that you can get, and there's programs you can purchase to monitor those analytics. And so it's a little crazy for me, because when it comes, let me back up just a tad bit. When it comes to this particular case, you can, wherever he is, obviously we know that his phone is following him. We have burner phones that are following him. We have victims' phones that are following him. All of these things are logged in. And I don't remember where I was going with my analytics behind the scenes, but we will get back to it. My brain just went blank because I looked over here and I saw this. But we've got all of this. We're going to give you guys background on where we came to this. But when it comes to Rex, I don't believe, I'm right along with everybody else. I believe that there's more victims. All these things happened back in 2003 to a 2010 area, potentially. And the reason why I say that is that's when he purchased his 2 properties out in Las Vegas. He's already sold one. He appears to maintain ownership or timeshare. It's a percentage ownership of another property out there. And there are people that disappeared in that 2003-2006 era when he purchased his first timeshare and his second timeshare. The first timeshare being in 2003, the second in 2005. So in that time frame, there were people that died, and they were kind of in the same area. They believed it was somebody else. And this is kind of scary, because again, we can see where he's kind of traveled in the eyes of the public. That means through social media. We have literally no way of telling where this man was. But what does scare me is that there are reports coming out that he got a hunting license in Alaska, which means that he would have had to, he would have visited Alaska. So now I'm so concerned as to how many more victims are in Alaska. And this whole Alaska trip has me concerned because it's a desolate area. There's probably some place that he went or ran into someone or befriended someone, you know, him being a tourist. The people, you know, are just naturally helpful if you think about it. Thank you so much. So let me just go up. I'm going to take a few moments before we dive into the language of letting go. Hopefully I will collect my thoughts on why I was talking about something else and I had completely lost my thought on it because I got distracted. So hopefully I'll come back to that thought, or it will reemerge throughout the additional discussions here. So let me just see if we have any kind of questions that I might have glossed over or didn't look at. I'm really trying to get a little bit better because sometimes I just ramble on here because there's so much information to get out. That wasn't your fault, Betty. I appreciate you staying and playing it. Yeah. Betty, you buy a Mega Million ticket, $1.25 billion here on Friday. Is the Mega Million ticket, is that associated with Florida? I don't really gamble. I don't really do scratch offs either. I don't know. I mean, I used to, but I actually was semi-successful at scratch offs, but I always believe I spent more than one. Oh, Lord. Rex is so normal. I find it hard to believe he is the guy. You know what? It's really interesting, and it is hard to believe that he is the guy. I think with any serial killer, it's hard to believe they're the guy because look at BTK, lived a normal life, never had a criminal history. Look at Brian Kohberger, again, appeared on for all intents and purposes, from the outside looking in, seemed and appeared to have a normal life and function normally. So this is kind of the makeup, in my opinion, of the serial killer. And I think Carrie Rawson says it best. She's like, you know, the reason why these cases go unsolved for so long is because they're looking for the criminal. They're looking for somebody with the criminal record instead of the normal family man that can coexist among us and walk among us and can have a normal life and maintain and hold full-time jobs while maintaining this second and secret lifestyle. And I think that's the reason. It's a different type of criminal. And this type of criminal has different types of behaviors and different types of proclivities. So I really think that really bodes into why it's so hard for us to wrap our heads around these type of killers, you know, the ones that torture, you know, and in here they talked about in his bail application, where it's, in my opinion, is kind of a breakdown of almost the probable cause affidavit. I don't have the probable cause affidavit in my possession, but this is the best thing I got, and it's so thorough. That's why I decided, I'm hitting my button again. That's why I decided to use it and read it. But it seemed like he had this disgusting tendency to young females. The younger, the better, it appeared, because he talks about sadistic materials with young girls. And so that is the problem that I have here, is that, you know, he was targeting 20, you know, people that were 20 years plus his juniors. So he had this young person, I don't know, obsession maybe, that drew him into the younger woman or girl. So it's hard to believe that somebody that's a family man, especially a family man that has a daughter, to want to carry out this act and torture and hurt of another female. You would think that, you know, obviously many of these, you know, children of these serial killers come out and basically say, you know, my father was normal. And I'm sure the father was normal to them. But they always seem to have like this one other thing and element in common is their like knee jerk and like they'll throw violent fits almost like rage, right? It's like 0 to 60. And I can't remember. I was talking to Olivia yesterday about it, and it's like, you know, they have a trigger, you know, anger button. Like they can go from being calm, cool, and collective to just a fit of anger or rage. And so that was what was kind of described by Carrie. And you know, we haven't talked to the children, obviously, the family, Rex's wife, his stepson and daughter, you know, they do want some privacy. Oh, well, good morning, all the way from Sweden. It's nice to have you. God bless you. God bless you. And so, you know, they're victims as well, and they're wanting their privacy. I mean, I can't imagine. Let's just put ourselves into this, and then I'm going to go to the language of letting go, and then we'll get back to the meat and potatoes of this. But when you're living a life, and even if you're, you know, parents have this fits of rage or anger, you know, but for the normal part, you have a normal life. It's hard for you to believe that your parent is capable of something like this. I don't think anybody knew that Rex was truly capable and what he was truly capable of, if that makes sense. I'm sure now that hindsight's 2020, no pun intended, hindsight, I'm sure they're starting to see some red flags that they should have seen. And I'm sure they're probably, you know, just kicking themselves in the butt that they didn't see this earlier, that, you know, this has got to be humiliating and embarrassing for that family, you know, having every single magnifying glass on you. And there's really no one to blame for that, for the media circus, for everything, except the person that you vowed to love and take care of through sickness and in health, and good times and in bad times, for 30-something years. You know, I don't think anybody would have considered that Rex was this. I mean, in all fairness, it seems like everybody thought he was this big teddy bear, right? Most large men of his stature, the ogre, you know, are typically huge teddy bears. I know many big guys, you know, and they look mean, rough, tough, you know, and then when you get to, you meet them, they're like the sweetest, nicest person you could ever meet. They're the biggest teddy bear. They got your six no matter what. Like, they're just loyal, sweet, good, kind-hearted people. Met many of them. You know, I'm short, so anybody's taller than me, but I'm talking about my really big, you know, friends, right? They are all just as sweet as, I don't know. They're just a big, rough, tough cream puff. I don't know what to say. They're all ooey gooey inside, you know, and this guy was filled with lava, and he was the devil. The devil grew in this man. And I keep wondering when it happened, but that's up for discussion. So I'm going through here to see if there's any other questions I might have missed. I think you're right, Betty. I don't think he stopped. I mean, just looking at his behavior during the 2010 and from 2003 to 2010, it seems like, you know, it just seems like he moved. And that's what scares me. He moved. And I feel like there's bodies out there that nobody has discovered. I think he got smarter to where he was going to go. I think that they're going to find these people. They need to find spots that he keeps frequenting, where his phones are pinging, or where these burner phones are pinging. Those I believe are where they're going to hit pay dirt, in my opinion. It's a place that he's going that's desolate, you know, that has the same kind of environment that he's accustomed to, in my opinion, because he seems like a very predictable person. He does the same thing over and over again every single day. And I think the reason why they do that, why they're so disciplined in their regular routine, is because by having the regular routine, it throws everyone off. When you start having irregular routines, and that's just you know, it pokes flags, you know, red flags. But I think it's the routine that throws a lot of people off of these serial type killers. I really do. Come on, people, hit that thumbs up. Thank you, Unicorn. God bless you. Absolutely. So if you guys have not gone out and thumbed this live up, please consider doing so. I know it is a cute mug. Be Betty Fan got it for me. Be Betty Fan. And it says on the front, I think it's from Philo Sophie's, I think. And it says, coffee is always better with you in the coffee club. Bullhorn Betty and Be Betty Fan. So I don't know what it is, but it tastes good. And all these in these mugs, I get these mugs. It just seems like the coffee tastes so much better in these mugs. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. My husband have a friend that was a guide in Alaska in that time frame. Maybe ask him. Ooh, well, if you want to give me that person's name, you can send it to bullhornbetty@gmail.com. I would definitely love to speak to anybody that might be able to give an insight into Rex behavior. And in Alaska, you know, what's in Alaska, what people come there for, maybe if they've heard of any types of unsolved murders, or maybe murders that, because it would have been something that he was there. I don't know if he would have had time to do more than one. So we're only looking for a singular person. Maybe somebody is potentially a singular person. Maybe somebody is currently in jail. Maybe there's a person that is literally in jail for a crime that they did not commit because Rex did it. I mean, you know, stranger things have happened. You know, we're always talking about our justice system and the possibility. JJ, I'll get, yeah, okay. Betty, with search histories, it's weird. His daughter was heavy set with red hair. I believe that was one of his searches. That's creepy. I'm gonna have to go through that. I know we have a list of the searches. I haven't had an opportunity to locate it. I know it's out. I just haven't had a chance to locate it yet or review it because I've been doing some other stuff. But I definitely am going to look for the search history. So without further ado, let's just go ahead. We're already 30 minutes into the show. Let's go ahead and get to our August 2nd, Language of Letting Go. If you guys are new to the channel, we always try to start the day off with some positive messaging. And a lot of my followers, as well as myself, if you don't know, I had a dependency on drugs. At one point, it took my life into a whole different direction. I got clean. I learned how to stay clean. And there's no perfection in that. And there's no perfection in anything. It's one of the things I've learned walking this path. But one of the things that's always helped me is this, because a lot of dependencies formulate codependencies to something or someone. And so those have to be broken as well. And I also find that people in my audience, you know, are dealing with stuff that never had a substance or alcohol abuse problem, but still struggle with codependency or struggle with certain situations, and sometimes find that uplifting messages help guide them. And so I know if it helps me, that it might help somebody in my audience. And therefore, I have been trying to read this book, and we've been reading on this book now. We're going into our full second year of reading on this book. And it just seems like every year we pull something out of it. This book I've owned for over 15 years. I found that live here on Bullhorn Betty channel when I went and actually looked at what year I got this. Holy crap, right? So gratitude is larger than life. Oops, did I have my glasses in here? And it doesn't appear that I have my glasses and they're not on my head. Crap. Okay. One day, a friend called me on the phone. He was going through a difficult time and wondering if and when things would ever turn around and improve. I knew he was in a lot of pain. I didn't know then that he was considering unalive. If you could give a person one thing to help them, he said, what would it be? I thought carefully about his question. Then I replied, it's not one thing. It's two: gratitude and letting go. Gratitude for everything, not just the things we consider good or a blessing, and letting go of the things we can't change. A few years have passed since the day my friend called me on the phone. His life turned around. His financial problems have sorted themselves out. His career has shifted. The two very large problems he was facing at the time have both sorted themselves out. The actual process of facing and working through these problems became an important part of redirecting the course of his life. Someone once asked the artist, George O'Keeffe, why her paintings magnified the smallest of objects, like the petals on the flowers, making them appear larger than life, and reducing the size of large objects, like mountains, making them smaller than life. Everyone sees the big things, she says. But these smaller things are so beautiful, and people might not notice them if I didn't emphasize them. That's the way it's with gratitude and letting go. It's easy to see the problems in our life, like the mountains, but sometimes we overlook the smaller things. We don't notice how truly beautiful they are. Identify problems, feel feelings. But if you're going to make anything bigger than life, let it be the power and the simplicity of these two tools, gratitude and letting go. God touched me to use gratitude and let go to reduce the size of my problems. So I know everybody struggles. We all do. We're all human. And we learn here all the time, that this world wants perfect and wants perfection. And that is a fallacy. That is something that will never, ever in a million years be a factual statement. There is nothing perfect in this world. The only perfect is our perfect imperfections. So all of us struggle with problems. We struggle with self-esteem. We struggle with a lot of things. But we also have to realize we're stronger than we are, and we have to have gratitude in that. There's a lot of things in life that bother us, that weigh us down, and we need to cut those strings and allow them to lift and move past and move on. Because at the end of the day, this too shall pass. So God bless everybody here. We have 220 people in the chat room. God bless every one of you. And I hope you guys have an amazing week. So getting started, we're just going to go over a few articles, and then we're going to kind of dovetail right back into Las Vegas and talking about the Las Vegas cases. That is, they've been unsolved. They believe that somebody else was responsible. That other person they thought was responsible has been shot and killed. And now they're wondering, is it possible that this wasn't his doing, but rather Rex Heuermann? It happened in the time frame he was there. It happened in the time frame he was there. So as we look at some of this stuff, just to kind of give you guys a little bit of a background on Rex Heuermann, we're just going to go through this. Now, this came out July 22nd. So this was, in the last 2 weeks, and it just kind of breaks down. And it says Rex Heuermann, the Gilgo Beach serial killer, hired petite women who looked like his alleged victims and made them do menial tasks. So the Gilgo Beach serial killer suspect hired petite women who looked like his victims at his architectural firm. A former employee has claimed the former staff who identified himself as Eric alleged that Rex would assign women at the workplace to perform menial tasks like making coffee and moving his car. He claimed that the 59-year-old murder suspect, who was 6 feet 4 inches tall, would make fun of them in the workplace, that he had a fascination with them. Heuermann was arrested on July 14th in the murders of 3 women, Melissa Barthelemy, Megan Waterman, and Amber Costello, more than 10 years ago. According to the former staffer, Heuermann had a pattern of hiring women who fit the description of victims associated with the Long Island serial killer. These women typically had thin builds and stood 4'11" to 5 feet tall. It was almost like he had a fascination with those girls that he worked with, Eric said. Eric claimed that Heuermann, 59, was often very demeaning to women, not very nice to the female employees he employed, and assigned them mundane jobs like delivering him coffee or moving his car. The former staffer further revealed that Heuermann used to boast about his firearms, even instructing a staff member to extensively research New York City strip club for months, although the person didn't know why. Wow, so he was looking for New York strip clubs, that he had somebody doing legwork for him. Holy crap. And that's if this is true. This is only alleging an Eric, which Eric is a common name. There is no history behind this, or whether or not the person of this article corroborated the information or corroborated whether this person truly worked at that office. These are things that are lacking in this article as to, I'd like to see them say, he worked in from this to this, but they're not, that's not here. They're just saying that this ex-employee came forward. And we know how ex-employees come forward and, whatnot, especially if they feel that they were wronged at an employment office or wronged at their job or wronged wherever, they have a different opinion, right? So it's just one of those things. We don't know if this is true, but this sounds interesting. And it does sound like a promising lead of, at least for the behavioral aspect of Rex Heuermann. So Eric said Eric, who had worked with Heuermann intermittently since the 1990s, provided evidence. Oh, there it is. Provided evidence, including emails from suspect, which coincided with the time when multiple victims' remains were discovered along the marshy beach. In an email dated March 25th, 2011, which was just days before Jessica Taylor's partial remains were discovered along Ocean Parkway, Heuermann stated, "I'm at home sick." So he was watching this very closely. And as many of you know, the toddler, as well as her mother, was kind of in separate areas along that beach, which was really sad. But they did find the partial remains of Jessica Taylor. And again, the baby has never been named, and we don't know what happened to that child. And the child bothers me. I mean, all of this bothers me. I won't lie to you. All of this bothers me. I feel bad for the victims. I feel bad for the people that work in this type of profession. For whatever reason they choose to work in this type of profession, I feel bad for them because they truly are, they're easy prey, especially for somebody like Rex. And there are many of them walking amongst us. Another email indicating that Heuermann was absent from work April 21st and April 26, 2011, shortly after the remains of the identified baby and Asian man who were found among the total 11 bodies discovered in the area. And, the gentleman, my understanding was this was a male that was transitioning to a female. And so since Rex does a lot of this online, I'm sure he didn't realize that she was a he until, I don't know how all that went on or whether he ever realized that until after the death. I'm unsure, but I do believe because this Asian guy apparently is transitioning and is in the escort service area, that he very well may have been a victim of his. Now, there is the possibility, we have to throw this out there because, again, Rex is not, they didn't indicate for the unidentified Asian man, the unidentified woman, which is Jessica, we know is Jessica Taylor, and her daughter. We don't know when they disappeared, but it is possible. It is possible that one or all three were potentially injured or killed by somebody other than Rex, and just randomly that was the easiest dumping spot, maybe known to locals, and those aren't even associated with him. It more than likely is, but we still have to throw that nuance out that it may not be. They did is it Maureen? Yeah, Maureen Brainard-Barnes. They identified him as the prime suspect in her death, but they haven't said anything about the unidentified Asian man, the unidentified woman that was, her remains found in multiple locations, or the unidentified child. So we don't know. We just don't. They have made no reference to this point about them other than they were part of the remains that were found along that coast. So far, that's all that we know within the sense of law enforcement and what is considered, factual information. So I think it's pretty interesting that he was absent from work April 21st through April 26th. That was an entire week that he was absent. Shortly after the remains of the unidentified baby, an Asian man were found along among the total of 11 bodies discovered along that beachway. This is Rex Heuermann video walking Midtown moments before his arrest. We did see that arrest on camera. Eric, a former staffer, mentioned that he stopped working with Heuermann due to his frugal nature, and added that he was not surprised one bit to hear about his former colleague's arrest. Wow. Well, then why would you work with him back and forth on and off since the 1990s if this doesn't surprise you? Like, if I had these ideas that somebody was, if I saw somebody acting this way, I'm just one of those people that address it. I'm not one of those people that look the other way. If I see something, even in the, now, mind you, I worked for people. I've worked under people. I've had managers. I've had bosses. I've had a lot of things, but there are a few things that even being a paid employee, I would not accept. And one of it is the treatment of employees. If I saw somebody treatment of an employee while I was around, I would absolutely address that if it was a manager with them, even as a subordinate, or take it right up to the chain to the supervisor. I don't care. I think that's unprofessional in a professional environment. And I worked in professional environments. It's not like we're talking about in McDonald's. Not that McDonald's is a bad job, right? But it's not a professional environment. It is a food joint. I've been in offices in professional environments, and I think it's totally unprofessional and really messes with the morale. And in most of the jobs that I've had have been high demand jobs. That means we had lots of cases, we've had lots of work. You need that morale in the workplace to be good, because you got, if you got somebody upset and they have 8 hours of typing to do, they're going to make nothing but mistakes the rest of the day. It slows the process down. It causes process problems in the office. And so those are things that I will not accept anywhere that I work, is the poor treatment of employees. And so there have been times where I've had to address these types of things, and would always do it. But one thing I would not do, if the correction was not fixed, I would not support it nor work there. Period. I can tell you that in my correction, I handle things very professionally. I mean, despite what people think, I'm a very professional person, especially in adversary. I'm calm, cool as a cucumber, level-headed, and talk to people. But in 90% of the time, just by saying, hey, this is inappropriate, just by speaking up, they realize their behavior was poor. And typically, a normal person goes and apologizes and does corrective measures so that doesn't happen again. So you don't have this where people are, they weren't mad at me. They were mad at themselves. I didn't make them say that. I didn't make them do that. I didn't make them act that way. But one thing I am going to say is that, one, it's unprofessional in the workplace. 2, it was inappropriate. And 3, it would have been better served for a private conversation between you and that person. And, I hope that changes and hope this never happens again, for the sake of that, the manager, boss, or the employee. It is what it is. But I find problems with, you kind of hear a snarkiness in this in the conversation. And so we, in all fairness, we have to take that into consideration. This is an ex-employee. This is sounding like somebody that left not on the best of terms. He's talking about frugal. That means he felt that Rex was not paying him what he was worth. That's what it's saying. And so this guy has, in being in New York, people are a little sensitive. Okay, let's be honest, a little sensitive. So he always had a sinister look in his eyes, he said. What does a sinister look like? I mean, come on. Yes, rude. If you're going to be disorderly and disrespectful to BHB, her subs, you will quickly be out. I don't know who is causing the disruption, but I will say to the mods, if it continues, you've given them their warning. If you time them out, block them. We don't deal with the drama over here. There's plenty of drama channels out there on YouTube. This is not one of them. This is a place people come to get information about cases. If that's something that you don't like, or you think it's tragedy pimping, then this is not the place for you. You can take that stuff, move it to your channel, and talk all about it all day long, all you want, but stay out of this channel. Because if you really want to have a conversation or try to get under my skin, we're not going to be playing it. So this is going to be a blanket. I'm not going to address this again. This is going to be a blanket to all my mods. You guys know the rules, okay? You remove the comment, you address the person politely. If it happens again, you time them out. If it happens the third time, they are blocked. Copy the URL, post it in our chat so it can go on the spreadsheet. So with the notification as to why. So that's really it. And so my mods are well versed in this. The rules of the chat for those that are new here is we say what we mean what we say, but we don't say it mean. We're not insulting. We don't talk about other creators. We never have, never will. And anybody that does, we will. That was Mama Bullhorn, and I'm thinking she's usually she'll call when she has something to say about a case, but she always lets me finish, right? And she was calling. I'm like, does she realize I'm live? I picked it up. So she's traveling today. She's let me know she's traveling today. So she didn't realize I was live. But getting back, the only rules of the chat really are just handle yourself like an adult. If you act like a child, you'll be put in timeout like a child. I mean, I don't understand. I don't understand why we would have to do that. But obviously, there are some adults that probably need to go back to school and learn how to be an adult. You know. So he brags about his 300 guns to Eric. However, Eric also acknowledged that Heuermann was exceptionally skilled and knowledgeable about building codes, describing him as brilliant in that regard. Despite this brilliance, Heuermann seems to use his expertise as a way to shield himself or hide behind it in some situations. So you can, in this article, you can see the controversy that this Eric has had with Rex in the past, and this kind of almost undertone of resentment in this article. Like that's when I'm reading this, I'm kind of hearing the resentment from this employee. So I have to say that this is probably partly true, mostly true, but trust me, in this article, there are things that aren't so true or opinions after the fact. So I just wanted to make sure that you knew it. Nice to see you, Suzanne. It's nice to have you, Ruby. Good morning. Good morning, ladies. Allie, it's nice to see you. Last week, Heuermann was arrested and charged in connection with the killing of 3 women, the Gilgo 4. Their bodies found near Gilgo Beach on Long Island in 2010. He pled not guilty to the murders of Melissa Barthelemy, Megan Waterman, and Amber Costello. The architect lived in a dwelling described dungeon-like. So it's been described as dungeon-like, which kind of would express that he's lived there his entire life. He purchased the home from his mother, so his mom never had to really clean the house out. And he moved him and his family in there because, again, his wife and him, which is his second wife, I think her name is Asa or something like that. I think it's Asa. I may have her pronunciation wrong, but either way, that was his second wife, and she came along with a stepson. So she already had a kid in tow at that time. And so they all moved into this house, and they have been living there. And then subsequently, she got pregnant shortly after their marriage, where they had the daughter being their biological daughter together. That is my understanding. Now, if I have some factual information wrong, it was one, I read it wrong, or it was printed wrong. That is my understanding. Moreover, he is under investigation for the murder of 6 other women whose bodies were found near Gilgo Beach in 2011. Detectives are currently expanding their inquiry into unsolved murders across the country to ascertain any possible connection to Heuermann. So this is a cross-country investigation. I am pretty sure if they've identified any states that he may have been in, they are looking to find out who is missing. Because again, we haven't heard of bodies just piling up since these Gilgo Beach. We've seen here or there. He's dumping them somewhere. If you think that a man like him is just going to stop, there is no way he has the ability, unless he is behind bars, to stop. The cravings are going to get so bad that he's going to have to feed the cravings. Now, maybe it won't be where has 4 people in the same quarter-mile stretch, but they have to be showing up somewhere. I'm sorry. I just don't believe he just simply went to cold turkey, because from my understanding, this is similar to an addiction. They obsess and crave it. It's not something that they can just put in the back of their mind and forget it, But let's get to, where are they? What's this one here? Let's get to his real victim, or not his real victims. Let's get to the other victims. So here are the potential Las Vegas victims, okay? So you've got Jessica Foster, Jodi Brewer, Lindsey Harris, and Missy Shane, okay? These girls were killed in Las Vegas. They were found in similar manners that we would have found the Gilgo Beach murders. Let me read this for you, and it's going to identify a person that they thought was responsible. They're now looking at these killings and seeing if Rex Heuermann is linked to them. Police are investigating whether a man killed by a prostitute in Charleston, West Virginia, could also be the prime suspect in 4 local cold cases. Neil Fall, 45, was shot and killed July 18th. This is in 2015, by the way, according to Charleston Police Chief of Detectives Lieutenant Steve Cooper. Nearly a week later, authorities are investigating the link between Falls and 4 Las Vegas area prostitutes: Lindsey Harris, 21, Jodi Brewer, 19, Jessica Foster, 21, Misty Shane, 25, who went missing between, between 2003 and 2006. You guys need to remember this. This is important. Why? Because there's also victims in Atlantic City from when? 2006 to 2007. Then we have from 2007 to 2011 or 2010, other people that show up on Gilgo. And then before that, we have these women from 2003 to 2005. If you notice, everything's hinging in this 2000 year mark, 2010 and under. 2000 to 2010 is when the bulk of what we know. So I truly believe he got smarter and he got more creative. Remember, the employee that he worked with considered him brilliant. Brilliant. And architecture really is kind of a planning mechanism, right? A planning mechanism for the home. I bet you this man has seen many types of land throughout the area. He probably knew areas that weren't going to be looked into because of his architectural career and locating properties, or people locating properties and saying, hey, what can you build me on this? And then he draws up the design. So there's a lot of stuff that goes in with the architectural business that many people don't realize or don't think that could put Rex Heuermann in, being able to find secret locations that nobody else would know. Over his 30 plus years, can you imagine all the plans, all the places? He knows exactly which properties are not going to be built on for years. Good morning, Turkey Man. It's nice to see you, love. So 3 of the women were later found dead. Saturday's incident began when Falls and the woman met on Backpage.com, an online classified site often used for men seeking escorts. Falls went to the woman's house with the understanding that she had offered her services as an escort, Cooper said. As soon as Falls was on the phone, he pointed, or was in the home. He pointed a pistol at the woman's chest and threatened her life. Now, a few things here that I noticed that are a little odd and definitely does not bode with Rex is, I mean, he does have the gun, but so far we have not. Here's for any disruption. What was misunderstood? Sorry. Sorry, I misunderstood. Here is for any disruption. What was misunderstood? Sorry. Was it you, Lori Lowe? That they were saying was being mean? Well, no. Lori Lowe's never mean. You didn't disrupt anybody. You're good. You're good, love. You're good, love. You're never rude here. If somebody said typo, you know what I meant. Okay. Don't you hate that? Trust me, I do it all the time. Let's see what she's got to say.
In square foot conference.
Let's see. I don't think this is any.
Drive in Corin Lane. A year after initially breaking ground in 2022.
Okay. That's nothing important. That's just a groundbreaking. So in Falls, then attacked the woman, forcing her. Why isn't this thing going up? Where was it? Attacked the woman, forcing her onto her stomach on the floor. Then he put a pistol on the counter so he could use both hands to strangle the woman. He grabbed the gun. She grabbed the gun and shot Falls in the head, killing him. According to Charleston Gazette Mail, the woman told 911 dispatchers that Falls said live or die as soon as she opened the door. He told her she had an option of R or M. But either way, he was going to prison for a long time, she told the newspaper. Based on the nature and the sheer brutality of the assault, along with all of those suspicious items, we suspect Mr. Falls has been involved in other violent crimes. Sounds like he's kind of similar to Rex in similar fashion. We've shared this case file with law enforcement across the country, hoping to assist on any open or cold murder cases. That includes the Henderson Police Department. Department spokesman Michelle French confirmed that Henderson Police Department have been contacted by Charleston Police, but she could not confirm whether Falls was suspected in Harris murder because the case is still open. Harris, who worked as an escort in Las Vegas, disappeared May 4th, 2005. Her rental car was found abandoned in South Las Vegas. About 3 weeks later, police found only her, hips down in a grassy area off of Interstate 55. So half of her body was missing near Spring Hill, Illinois. It took 3 years before DNA matches positively identified the limbs. Metro Police work card records from 2007 to 2012 show that Fall lived in Henderson and worked as an unarmed security guard. So they're linking him here to at least Harrison's case. In 2008, Las Vegas police said that Harris murder appeared to be linked to other cases, 2 other Valley women who had been killed and a third one missing. Like Harris, Brewer and Shane were found dead near a highway. Foster has never been located. Cooper spoke by Metro Friday afternoon about the 3 other cases. He said no direct links have been established between Charleston case and the Las Vegas cold case. We simply are sharing facts in the case, and it may be helpful. Las Vegas police spokesman Michael Rodriguez said a connection between Falls and the Las Vegas women appear possible. That's all they said. It sounds like on one, there is a possible nexus, and that's Harris. It sounds like there is that possible nexus. We would definitely welcome any information out there. So again, this was all taking place in 2015. And so I was looking in a little bit into, who this Neil Falls was, and his name's Neil Martin Falls. He was born September 24th, 1969, and was an American and suspected of as a serial killer who was shot and killed in self-defense by Heather Seial. a woman in Charleston, Virginia. And it sounds like he was born in Eugene, Iowa. He was impoverished family with 9 other children. So again, you hear this about how they weren't nurtured. They didn't get the love they needed. It always comes back to the familial issues. And so again, I was just trying to learn who this man was. And there he is, again, another man that looks normal, that looks in a lot of appearance, somebody that we wouldn't consider as, somebody that would want to harm us. He looks like a kind, and just by the look of him, a kind, gentle soul. I mean, he's around a lot of evidence, a lot of bones, a lot of digging material, guns, handcuffs, and everything else. Obviously, this man was very twisted. But again, he looks, for all intents and purposes, normal, and somebody that you would communicate with if you were standing in a long line and he was the person behind you or in front of you. It would be somebody that you would strike up a conversation with. It's not somebody that would have alarm bells saying this guy's a creep just on his appearance alone. It's not one of those things. So I want you guys to hear this, because I think this is super important as well.
A man killed by a woman he attacked in her home may have been a serial killer himself. Mark Albert spoke with investigators who believe the dead man may be connected to murders in 3 states.
Police say 45-year-old Neil Falls was answering an online ad for an escort when he showed up to this Charleston, West Virginia home. This woman, Heather, who doesn't want her last name used, answered the door. She says Falls, armed with this gun, asked her live or die, and then started choking her.
When he strangled me, he just wouldn't let me get any air, and so I grabbed my rake, and when he laid the gun down to get the rake out of my hands, I shot him. I just grabbed the gun and shot behind me.
Heather ran out of the house and flagged down a neighbor who called 911.
She had to defend herself and she shot him. She's in the kitchen. He pulled a gun on her. She's got cuts and stuff all over.
Inside Falls's car, detectives found a machete, axes, knives, a shovel, and a sledgehammer, bleach, plastic trash bags, a bulletproof vest, and 4 sets of handcuffs. Now, police are investigating whether he could be connected to the murder or disappearance of 9 women across 3 states, Ohio, Illinois, and Nevada. Evidence found with dismembered bodies outside of Las Vegas, where Falls used to live, is similar to an item found in his car. And all the women were escorts, most of whom advertised online. Steve Cooper is with Charleston Police.
So it's likely that Mr. Falls is a serial killer. I believe she saved lives by shooting Mr. Falls based on what he did to her.
I believe she saved countless lives.
The items that were found in this car.
Police are not charging Heather for the shooting, which they say was in self-defense.
I knew he was there to kill me.
Authorities will enter Falls' DNA into a national database to check for links to other crimes. Falls was found with a list of names, ages, and phone numbers of 10 other women. All are still alive. Jim?
Mark out.
So again, this is just another, weird thing. We're finding out that who ever heard of this guy? I didn't hear of this guy until I'm doing research for, in Rex Heuermann's case, right? I never heard of this guy. I didn't even know he walked among us, lived among us, was shot, was, nothing. Look at that. We got our milestones up. Oh boy, 14 months with BHB. God bless you. God bless you, love. God bless you. And Lori, love, we know, and we love you. And if anybody got offended by you, I know your behavior, and you would never be blocked. Yeah, I mean, it's and not only that, but we know who the problems are. We definitely know who are not the problems, and you would definitely not be considered a problem here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. We know exactly who the problems are, right? We know exactly who the problems are. So it was me. I offended someone. It was me too. We'll go for the me too. Here, let me start it off. Okay, let me start it off. We'll start our own little Me Too movement, okay? And trust me, nobody offends people like me. No, I'm just joking. Actually, people just get offended by me just speaking and breathing air, which is sick. I can't wait until I can prove that I can go anywhere in this country I choose to go to and work. Can't wait till that day. So anyways, thank you and God bless you. God bless you. Yeah, me too. Me too. Buttered biscuits, you're not welcome. Yeah, I've been buttering your biscuit long enough. Time to move on, Chica. So there you guys have it. That is, there's a lot of information coming out. And then we're going, and then you go over to Atlantic City and you kind of hear, let's read this article here. This one was just recently out, and it's Atlantic City, New Jersey. The arrest of suspected, Lisk is Long Island serial killers, hashtag Lisk, L-I-S-K. If you guys are doing your own research and you want an easy way to search, look for Lisk. A lot of people are hashtagging Lisk when it comes to this case, and that stands for Long Island serial killer. So the arrest of suspected Lisk, Rex Heuermann, has prompted investigators across the country to re-examine old cases, which include Oceanfront Enclave, where 4 escorts were found lined up in a sewage ditch in 2006. This sounds a lot like the behavior of Rex Heuermann, because we know how he positioned the women on Gilgo Beach. So it seems like he started here in Atlantic City in 2006 and had this very unique behavior when he dumped the women. And that was kind of emboldened when they started discovering the women on Gilgo Beach. So now we're hearing that these women were lined up in a ditch similar to that Gilgo Beach stretch, right? The grassy enclave right there, the marshy beach land of Gilgo Beach is where they found a lot of people. So this does sound like, and they even said that they appeared to have been positioned. They had appeared to be positioned, right? So this kind of does have a lot of hallmarks of Rex Heuermann. 2 women were walking in a marsh behind a row of hotels west of Atlantic City. What is really interesting here? Marsh. What is interesting word that's used on Gilgo Beach? Marsh. Where did he purchase property in South Carolina? In marshy areas. So that seems to be a description of a place that he likes and feels comfortable dumping people, is in marshy areas. So that might be something that law enforcement is also looking at. Let's just see what we got going on here. I see some things. Just check and make sure. Okay. Subs wants you to zoom in, please. That was 29 minutes ago. Zoom in on what? Sorry, Sonia, I missed your thing. I can go back and zoom in. What do they need me to zoom in on? I'll wait for, if you want to hit me back on the messenger, Sonia, that'd be great. I just didn't. Oh, TLC, 2-month member. How did I miss TLC? Jennifer, I see Jennifer's. How did I miss TLC? Did I miss you, TLC? I'm so sorry. On what video you were covering the video. Okay, I'll go back to the video. Oh, the video. Okay, yeah. Oh. Yeah, I'll go back to this. Let me go back to this video and see if I can blow it up. We'll go back to that in just a second. Let me get done with this. So they were walking behind the motel and they found the remains of Kim Raffel, 35, which is a little older than what he likes. So, he was, but this, and again, this happened in 2006, but it seems to me that he was kind of had the proclivity of younger, and 2 of these people are a little older than his liking. Maybe they look I don't know. They found the remains of Kim Raffo, 35, and police arrived to discover 3 more women in the same pit. Sounds really, really similar to how they found the Gilgo Beach murders, right? It sounds really similar. They went there for one and they found more. And that really, it's almost a spinning description of what we're dealing with the Long Island serial killer. So 3 more women were found in the same pit. Tracy Ann Roberts, 23, Barbara Brewer, 42, again, another older person, not really accustomed to the age grouping of these other people, and Molly Diltz, 19. So the 23 and 19, yes, the 35 and 42-year-old, a little curious because those are the oldest ones so far that I've heard of. And here is the women right here. Let me go ahead and see if I can get those blown up for you. And again, this is Barbara. This was the oldest of the women, followed by Tracy Ann, Molly Diltz. This is the youngest, 19. And then Kim, which is 35. So 35, 42. But you can see they are very beautiful women. They don't look like this. Barbara definitely does not look 42 to me in her profile picture whatsoever. So I can kind of see why he selected these women. They definitely look beautiful. They're most likely petite. That's kind of his proclivity as well, as petite young women. So Betty, is there a common pattern among the victims such as height, weight? And yes, so he likes petite women. He likes petite, smaller women. So the ones that are, I would think 5'1" and below, 5'2" and below. But they said that even at his office, he hires people that are 5 foot or 5'11" or 4'11", looking for their special purpose. Yeah. So, but this is it. So it seems like thin, small, petite women, young-looking women is kind of his deal. So Rex Heuermann's suspected prey, the victims of New Jersey's eastbound, like Heuermann, suspected prey, the victim of New Jersey eastbound strangler were all believed to be escorts. They were all posed in the same direction, placed face down in filthy water and barefoot. Farther behind the hotel in Atlantic City Expressway, which similarly to Ocean Parkway in New York cuts through marshy grass. Again, he has a specific type of person. I don't think he has I think it's more of the general description. It doesn't seem like he cares about hair color or eye color. It seems like a body stature is more in line with what he is seeking, a small, petite, childlike or doll-like figure, which kind of creeps me out saying it, but that's kind of what we've been discussing. I mean, that's kind of what they're laying out in this, right? So he's 59 years old. We know he's an architect, and he lives in New York and travels to Manhattan where his job was. He's been arrested on a half a dozen murder charges. We believe that there's definitely more. These are the suspects right now. Now, this one right here, this is Maureen Brainard-Barnes. And I know her head's kind of cut off on this photo for whatever reason in this article, but she's the one that they haven't quite linked Rex to just yet. But all 3 of these other ladies he remains the prime suspect in Maureen's case. I'm sure that there's going to be some type of DNA evidence that does come out that helps link him there. So the suburban father of 2 turned suspected serial killer also had a timeshare in Las Vegas and a property in South Carolina where police seized the old Chevy Avalanche pickup believed to be the suspected vehicle in Costello's disappearance. And that was the one, if you guys were here during my intro when I was coming into this live, I explained that Costello is the one, Amber Costello is the one that had this ruse, right? Where she fished people to come to her. They paid her up front. Then she had the angry boyfriend that came in and ran the John off. So she got the money but didn't have to perform the act. It is a ruse that some people that typically on drugs and don't want to be in this lifestyle, they will use themselves as bait. It never works out well. Somebody will get to you that feels jaded by this con, but it's not an uncommon con, but it is a con. And she was really the one that really pointed the law enforcement into Rex's world, because it was people in her community after she disappeared that remembered seeing that first generation Chevy Avalanche, which was then linked obviously to Rex Heuermann, and they've obviously located it out at his property in South Carolina. Shame on us if we don't look into Las Vegas, South Carolina, even Atlantic City. We've got to make sure if anyone has information. Suffolk County Police Commissioner Rodney Harris, who helped launch the task force last year that led to Heuermann's arrest, told ABC7 last week. And he is right. We know that these types of killers don't just stop. And that's what's so concerning, because look at this case. What do we have? We have stuff that's a decade old and older that we're charging him with. Well, what happened in the last decade? Don't tell me that he just stopped, that he was just living among us and decided to turn his life over to Christ and live this good, wholesome, godly life. Don't tell me that. That's impossible in my mind. It's impossible, because these types of people typically don't just stop or have a change of heart, because again, it's like an addiction. It's a compulsion. It's something they can't control. And that's what makes it so dangerous. We know Heuermann was mobile. How did he travel? By car, plane, then rental. Yes, I think of multiple things. I think if it was close enough to him to drive, he would be willing to drive. And I think if it was like from New York to Las Vegas, it's days to get there. That would be something that he would be in a plane. And again, we talked about another lady that disappeared that came from New York to Vegas around the time that it's perceived that Rex was in the area. I believe this happened in 2005 or 2006. And she was a blonde-haired lady, and she disappeared. And many found that very suspect as well. And they're also linking her potentially to Rex Heuermann as well. You got to think that, the bulk of the deaths will be where he's at the majority of the time, which is going to be on the East Coast of the United States. But he does travel. So we're not going to have lined up bodies in these areas that he travels for a couple nights. We're only going to have one victim. So it's going to be harder as you start branching out into these other states to find those singular victims of Rex Heuermann. So this is going to be the hardest task, in my opinion, for law enforcement, is to truly find out where he went and what cases happened in and around his visit in that area. That's just, my opinion. Doesn't mean a whole lot, but that's how I would think that they're approaching this. But we have to think, when he goes on these vacations, like even in Alaska, we're not going to be looking for 3 and 4 people in a marshy area. We're most likely going to be looking for the one. These are not going to be both together. They're not going to be killed, in days apart, unless he's staying somewhere for months on end. We're not going to have that type of body count in these other places that he visits. But I do believe there's one-off cases. I believe he went out, he met the people, he killed them, he dumped them. They think it's just a random drug deal gone bad, robbery gone bad. God knows what law enforcement in those areas believe have happened to that one person, because they don't equate it to a serial killer, because it's singular. It's alone in their mind, because it has no seeming connection to anybody else, because he's not from there. So I hope I explained what I mean by, we're only going to have the one-offs. That means singular, and we're not going to have these lined up bodies in marsh areas. But I have to think, just like any person that would do this, he has to investigate his area. So there is going to be a time when he went out there originally to Las Vegas and just did almost a fact-finding mission, if you will, to find out where the spots were, where he needed to go. He's scoping it out, right? So there's got to be time for that. And these happened in 2003, between 2003 and 2005 out in Las Vegas. Well, okay. When it came back from Las Vegas, guess what? Bodies started showing up in Atlantic City. And then after bodies started showing up in Atlantic City, they started showing up on Gilgo Beach. Can't make this stuff up. She said she believed he left her alone after the third visit because she gained weight following the birth of her second child. All of Heuermann's suspected victims have been described as petite, with 3 of them under 5 feet tall. While she said she couldn't be fully sure the man was Heuermann, she described him as a large New Yorker with a similar face. And that was from one of the people. Okay, so it was from a private dancers at the Stilettos. So this was a gentleman's club, if you will, called Stilettos. And so she's describing that. While she said she couldn't be fully sure the man was Heuermann, she described it as a large New Yorker with a similar face. Dave Schaller, the sole witness to Gilgo victim Costello's disappearance, described the suspect as ogre. We already talked about that, over 6 feet tall, over 200 pounds. When they told me she was dead, he was the first person who jumped in my head. I've been picturing his face for 13 years. How chilling is that? Although he stopped going to clubs, Heuermann's distinctive features rattled the Atlantic City dancer one more time, she said. I don't know. I do know I did see him on Tinder too, she said. When they, Suffolk County prosecutors, released the photo he used on Tinder, my jaw dropped. The dancer said she'd been afraid for years due to the unsolved slaying in Gilgo Beach in Atlantic City, and noted her club is close to the road leading out of town to the former Gold Key Motel. A parking attendant next door said he recognized Heuermann as an infrequent visitor to the club. So did the clerk at several stores on Broadway nearby. Heuermann's wife and adult children have a connection to Atlantic City. Heuermann is reported to be a heavy drinker. He's a heavy drinker. But bartenders in the area said they weren't sure if they recognized him from TV coverage or in person, if they recognized him at all. Atlantic City also has a lot in common with one of Heuermann's other preferred destinations, i.e. Las Vegas. When I heard that Rex had a timeshare in Las Vegas, obviously my ears perked up. Is he a gambler, or is he going to the area to have very robust victim pool, i.e. escorts, says Josh Zeman, a documentarian who interviewed Schaller in 2006 for A&E, The Killing Season. The docuseries touched on several predictions that turned out to be true years later with Heuermann's arrest, including that the suspect would be a Big Apple commuter from Massapequa who may be into duck hunting. Interesting. Atlantic City also has a fair, robust escort trade as well. So again, there you go. I'm going to open up the phones literally just real quickly for anybody that would like to call in, say good morning, say hi. Give me a second. I'm still in the process of getting that all set up. But if you want to call in, please do. Otherwise, I'm going to shut down the phones and tell you guys to have an amazing day. And I got a lot of work left here to do, so I will be doing other work today, but we'll be around. So you guys can reach out to me by email and whatnot. Well, good morning, Turkey Man. I'm doing great. I'm doing beyond great. I'm actually doing better than great today. The Jerk. I don't know if I've ever watched it. Oh, was it a joke? I'm not in the funny mood this morning. No. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Mhm. Oh, hold on. I'm sorry. They said they can't hear you. There we go. Okay, go ahead. Sorry,
I
go
said
ahead,
there was,
Turkey Man.
where did I start? Just go back.
Yeah, just go back because they didn't hear anything you said. Not about the jerk, not about anything.
Okay. There was a movie, Steve Martin. Funny, it's comical, but anyhow, he was real naive, and his first job was pumping gas,
Mm-hmm.
and they was after him and and they were shooting at him, and there's a display of cans, oil cans, and they was hitting the cans.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he thought they was trying to kill the cans, just to protect the cans.
Gotcha.
So I said, it's got to be the cans, protect the cans. So he was just, he had words that he would say during that movie, but the title of the movie was a jerk. So when these haters come on, we need to have code words. Don't have to be the jerk, but I was putting that out there that us that knows what it means doesn't say haters is on or this, that, and the other. It's something to look at, and that way we can have a language of our own. Everybody's got their own language,
right?
And I felt like that we need our own language. I don't know. I like on Twitter. I like to do gifs, and a lot of times I won't say something. I'll just put a gif out there. Well, a gif, like Tombstone, the movie Tombstone, it's got a lot of gifts out there that you can put up something and it's saying without saying.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a subliminal message, so to speak, behind it. And I think a lot of times, rather than giving ammunition to the haters, that we need to have a language of our own. That sometimes that we're wanting to talk, you got to be a part of the coffee club to understand it.
Yeah. Well, I think the conversation with the haters just need to go. Everybody just needs to ignore them, not address them, not talk to them, and then just let the mods delete them.
Well, have you ever been somewhere that and somebody was talking a language you didn't understand?
Oh yeah.
It makes you feel out of place, don't it?
It does.
That's what my point is.
Yep, I agree.
So that's what I'm saying. Sometimes you have to have a language
that nobody knows about.
They don't know what's going on.
There you go. That's what we need to do. Maybe I'll start planning on that. I wish I had enough time to come up with a new language. If I did, I would teach everybody in the chat.
Well, what show did you watch? I know that everyone had some kind of show that you watched. How about Friends? How about Seinfeld?
So growing up, it was a lot of different stuff. I was interested in a lot of stuff growing up, but of course, we watched Murder, She Wrote, Saved by the Bell. I watched Melrose Place. We had a thing where we watched. Friends was always on Thursday, so we always had this thing whenever I was an adult and I had my first apartment. Friends with Friends, my neighbor and stuff. She would cook dinner one week, and I would cook dinner the other week, and we always sat and watched Friends. It was our little thing called Friends with Friends.
And well, that's what I'm trying to get across. There's something there that because we grew up watching TV.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about we have watched Going to the Moon. We've watched Assassination.
Yeah.
So we've seen assassination, person get assassinated. The one that did it. We've seen everything. I mean, we watched everything that's it's happened since we've got the TV becoming part of our lives.
Mm-hmm.
And but that being said, I mean, you go back. I was thinking about Seinfeld. there was so many different things in Seinfeld that George said or was said during that period of time that relate to. So I just like I said, I was just thinking about a language that we could understand. Code word, coffee club. I enjoy the little bit of a morning when I come up and you guys are on. I try sometimes I get behind in calling or texting in the chat there because I'm not much of a chatter.
Yeah, neither am I. I usually watch, like even when we go to church on Sunday, everybody's commenting and I'm listening and I feel bad because I forget to comment because I'm so paying attention to the word.
Well, by the way, I do appreciate you sending out messages on Sunday.
Absolutely.
And I appreciate that. But anyhow, how's your mom before I get off?
Well, she tried calling in, which I'm probably going to call her back so she can say hi to everybody, but she's traveling today. I didn't know she was traveling today, but that's what she told me when she called.
Well, is her illness she had a couple of days? I'm
sure she's feeling better. Yeah, it sounded like she was nasally and stuff, so she probably took a couple Benadryl, let it all dry up, but she sounded fine on the phone today.
Well, I appreciate it, and I tell you what, those all the Coffee Club members out there, remember me in prayer. I've got some things going in my life that I'm having to deal with, and it's a constant battle. We all have our things we have to deal with, and that's called life. It's called life. We are living, and that goes with that. But I hope everybody has a great day, and hope you have one too. And sound like you're on a good direction for that way. So just keep on keeping on and do what you do. Do that thing you do.
Yeah.
And go on.
You got it, Turkey Man. God bless you. Oh, that's so cute. Let me just see about calling Mama Bullhorn. Let me find her number. There she is. Let's call Mama Bullhorn, say hi to her. So, calling? I don't hear it ringing. I'm calling out. Going once, going twice. Doesn't sound like it's ringing. Let me try the other number. Let's try this again. Here. It won't work. She was probably going to the doctor. She was going to the doctor because she usually should pick up on the first ring, unless she stuck it in her purse. And she's digging around in her purse trying to find the phone to answer because she knows it's most likely me. And she's not answering. Mom, you left me. I just want to let you know that. Yeah, we don't want to get to the voicemail. No point in everybody hearing her voicemail. So anyways, that's kind of it. If you guys could just take a few moments, say a prayer out of love for our beloved Turkey Man. He is going through some stuff. He's been going through some stuff for a little while and could really use a lot of positive vibes, positive messaging, and a wealth of prayers. So if you guys are out and about today and you are thinking about it, you're looking at the turkey, the sliced turkey, you're ready to get your meat for the week, right? You think about Turkey Man and give him a prayer. So God bless each and every one of you. I love this family. I love the Coffee Club. And I hope you guys learned a little bit of something new about Rex Heuermann today, his potential victims, and how there has got to be more that are going to be uncovered. At least we pray that they will be uncovered because everybody deserves justice. And these women's voices were silent, right? They were silent. And there are so many more out there that we are never, ever, ever going to know to the extent of what truly happened with these women. So just a little shout out today from the sponsors, the channel sponsors, Southern Grammy Wolf with a nice wolf, no, a fox. like me. No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. Stop it. Lori Lowe being a naughty girl today. No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking, Lori. I think that's hilarious. That you were the troublemaker today. You know, good for you. Good for you, right? Good for you. No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. Jennifer, 14-month milestone. God bless you. Oh, and Jennifer gifted a gift membership. Whoever received that gift membership from Jennifer, please don't forget to say thank you to her TLC 2-month membership. Says, love your lives and info you provide. Well, God bless you, TLC. I'm so sorry I missed yours. I'm still trying to find it. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. I don't know how I missed your comment. Like I thought everything was coming through here, and then I missed that. And there's Gigi. And where is Gigi's? Is Gigi's before or after yours? Gigi's is right before yours. Hold on. I'd like to give you at least some credit on here. It's just I don't understand why it didn't come through. It's interesting. Must have turned my head. I wasn't paying attention at the moment. Oh, it should be over here. There you are. Yay! Yay! So that was nice, but it didn't show the gifts. So StreamYard still has to work on the gift membership because I'm back here looking at it. They do have the milestones fixed, but not the gift memberships fixed. So, and then of course, GG for life. Much love to you, Betty, Mods, and the coffee beans. It's nice to have you all. I hope you have an amazing day. I'm going to be diving into this. I got some really exciting stuff. I think it's not done yet. I'll be dancing on clouds once everything is confirmed, and I will let you guys know what it is as soon as it's done. But we are getting excited, and that's all I can tell you. That is all I can tell you, and I am super stoked. I can't even express how completely stoked I am. Miss Potty Mouth, 8 months. Lordy, Lordy. You missed it. Were you here? I said we need to take, no, that was Cranky Pants, not Potty Mouth. It was Cranky Pants. I don't know where Cranky Pants has been, but you might have missed it. I don't know if you missed it or not, Miss Potty Mouth, but who was it? It was, I forgot. Mike. We told Mike we were going to steal his Big Macs, and then he was going to turn into Cranky Pants. There you go. I think it's funny. Anyways. All right, guys, you have an amazing day. God bless you. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And until next time, please be safe and kind to one another, especially in the chats and comment boxes. That is super important. We deal with such awful things day in and day out. We don't have to be part of the problem. Let's be part of the solution and show some love and kindness around these streets. God bless you.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.